Hey everybody, welcome to Why Did Ask For. We're now at chapter 26 or something around there.
Hooray!
We're trying something new if you're watching us on YouTube. Hello! So, as usual, I'm your host, Dan, and with me is Pat.
Hello there, everybody.
And Tip.
Hey, what's up?
And that's all I got for you, I'm sorry.
That's the most... It was so exciting because it was like, okay, now we're going to build up. We're going to show them who we are. I was like, oh, but we're actually... There's not really a whole lot of impressiveness going on here.
Yeah, I picked
No,
the
not really.
3 least attractive members.
Tip, please.
We're the trolls from under the bridge.
Yeah.
So I wasn't here last week, and that's because, as you all know, I have a job now, which I guess is cool because I got money coming in, but
Dan's
it sucks
job
because I have
is
to
he
get
has
up
to
at
go
like...
pick up orphans on the street and take them to a distillery where they now work and make beer for the rest of their lives.
Why
Sure.
are you making beer at a distillery instead of a brewery?
Well, you know.
You know, because you got to keep, mix it up a little bit, Tip. You got to trade it up a little bit.
Okay, I'm just...
You know what the horrible thing about
Trying
the
to keep
new
you
video
honest
now
here.
is that now everyone's going to be able to tell when I'm lying. Although I'm fairly
Yeah,
sure
that's
they're able
true.
to tell when I'm lying before. So
Well, yeah, but at least it's a little bit easier.
yeah.
The bad thing about
A little more obvious, I
bad thing
guess.
about video is I'm sitting here making stupid faces instead of paying attention to you guys.
You paid attention to us before?
But now I can see myself making stupid faces.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's a problem.
So is that what
Catch
we
a-
become
catch a
as
glimpse of
older
yourself.
gentlemen? Is that now we just make silly faces at ourselves and laugh accordingly?
Well, you guys
Wow.
have kids to make silly faces towards.
I was just gonna say that. We have kids, so we're kind of like practiced at it. I don't know why Tip does it.
Well, I mean, Tip, do you like make silly faces at your coworker sometimes just to kind of, joke around? Hey, and
Unless I don't know, maybe you think this is a silly face.
God damn it.
now I should be clear that
You-
I'm assuming Dan and Tip can see each other right now, but
No,
No.
no.
nobody.
Nobody can see anybody.
Oh, so the only people that we can see is ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's horrifying.
Yeah.
Which
so
I
it's gonna
realize
be
for an
adventure
audio
and a half.
podcast, it's a horrible conversation for us to be having right now.
Well, that's okay. If you're listening to the audio version and you're really confused, head on over to YouTube,
So
look up Why Did Ask For, and find it there.
You'll see us with. I don't know. I kind of want there to be a reaction shot to us watching the video and be like, "Oh, that's the face he was making."
No, we're not allowed to do that.
Oh,
No one's allowed to react anymore.
that's true.
why not?
It's true. I mean, you can get the right materials and you can do it legally, but you can't react anymore, Tip.
That's right.
Why can't I react?
Are we going to get into this?
It's a whole thing. We're not getting into
Google
it,
the
but
Fine Bros. You'll get your answer.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
this was like some Canadian rule.
No. There's these guys called Fine Brothers that are trying to trademark React in some way, shape, or form. I'm foggy on the details. I just know it's a big deal. They're trying to trademark a format of React video or something like that, and the word, and I don't know.
Which is so dumb to begin with because it's a something you do. It's a verb. It's like trying to trademark run.
This is like,
Nobody can run except for us because we did it first.
can we go
Yeah.
a little not safe for work for a second?
Was
I don't see why
was
not.
any of this ever safe for work?
I don't know, but the Fine Brothers trying to trademark a reaction video. It's like Bang Brothers trying to trademark a porn video. Lots of
fair
people
enough.
did it before them, and people are still going to keep doing it.
It's true.
That's a verb.
It's true.
That's what you do.
And they probably aren't going to get paid because there's going to be some free website that lets it go for free.
Well, that's like when the thing first came out, people were asking us about recess. Like, well, aren't you guys afraid of some sort of trademark on recess? I'm like, it's a time of day for kids at school. How can you trademark that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think we'll be okay. Unless, I don't know, Disney has some sort of weird trademark on it, in which case we're screwed. But
Actually, I
I think we'll be okay.
if I remember correctly, a trademark does not imply that you get paid every time someone uses it. It's not like Walmart pays the Kleenex company every time someone picks up a box of off-brand tissue and says, "Hey, buy that Walmart Kleenex."
That's true. I guess the same thing applies to like Q-tips,
Yeah.
right? Like Q-tip is the name brand, but everybody calls all cotton swabs
Yeah.
Q-tips.
That's what Tip's gonna call his child one day.
Q-tip?
Q-tip. Yeah. There's Tip and
That's beautiful.
right? It's poetic in its own way.
I
Yep.
like it. It needs to happen.
It probably will.
Tip's like, I'm working on it. Please, just give me some time.
What
here."
did I tell you guys about practice?
That's why he's practicing his weird faces.
Yep.
Okay, wait a minute now. This has to
Little
be
Q-tips
presentable
on
in
its
some
way.
format here.
It does?
I guess so. I mean, oh, so I know you two guys can't see this right now, but I am sporting a beautiful "Why Did Ask For" T-shirt, which is very comfortable and soft and made of cotton, and is available in our Society 6 store / Why Did Ask For. And you know what? Okay, branding aside, I am actually shocked that the shirts are actually pretty good. They're
very soft.
I've ordered T-shirts from other places where it's like, okay, I want to even support this other podcast that I like, but which is no way better than us. And
Man, Pat,
But
way
I-
to make our early work seem ineffective.
no,
Yeah.
that's not what I was referring to. It was something else. But you know, these are actually really comfortable shirts. I'm
Yeah, they
in
are.
shock.
I was very surprised when I got mine. I was like, holy shit, it's really soft.
I was also surprised when my coffee mug came in and it was nice and shiny and holds my coffee very well.
I got a complaint about mine.
Oh, yes.
Now, it's a great mug, and I love using it. But right out of the box, I noticed that it's the smallest little detail, but it drives me nuts every time I see it now. There's a little white dot just somewhere just above the D, like a fault in the printing or something, and it fucking irritates me every time I see it.
I do not have this dot. Your mug is flawed.
Oh sure,
I'm gonna.
Maybe I'll say maybe it was just because I ordered the first one and they fucked it up somehow.
Are you sure it wasn't Ethan? He just went and got a little
Now,
white mark and just because he knew it drive you
No,
nuts.
because I noticed it when I was doing the dishes. I was like, shit, did I do that? And so I was like scouring the thing.
so I've got to
Looking-
let you guys know.
I don't know what happened.
This is an amazing thing for me that I've just discovered. It's probably going to be amazing to you guys too.
Oh no.
I'm putting the link
Maybe.
in the so you can put it on Link Dump.
Mhm.
We just so happen to be on Amazon.
What?
Oh.
Look at that.
Well, wow. I can't open that because I'll destroy my my recording. But wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty
So,
friggin' cool.
So somebody could add us to their Amazon wish list, is what you're saying, Tip.
Yes, and that first person is going to be me.
Nice.
Added to my wish list, guys.
Hey, so Dan just finished doing a blog today, and by the time you guys are watching this, there's a really good. It should be out. If it's not out by now, I've failed in a very horrible, horrible way.
It's not.
But
If you're listening to this now
Mhm.
or seeing this on YouTube, it will be out on Saturday.
oh, you're doing a blog for this week. Wow.
Yeah.
So I am way
been
ahead of
off.
schedule. All right.
We have been off on the vlogs. They've been running late. Like Shua and them, I don't think they've been recording until Friday.
Mhm.
And then by the time it gets edited and put up, it's going out like Tuesdays or Mondays. And it's supposed to be going out Saturdays. So what I recorded and sent to you today
Uh-huh.
shouldn't be going up till Saturday.
Oh, I see. I see. Well,
So yeah, you're way ahead, and that's awesome.
well, that's great. That's great. Well, hopefully I'll have time for you guys to critique it. I was so nervous. I was like, oh man, I'm not going to be able to get this out till tomorrow. They're going to be so angry at me.
Now,
No, not at all.
my question on these vlogs, what do you guys talk about on them?
Right now, it's just basically an update video.
Oh, of just whatever you're doing in life?
No, just like what's going on with
Oh,
the channel.
I got you.
stuff that's coming out.
You see,
Shit
Tip,
like
there's
that.
so many fine quality things that come out of the Why Did Ask For that we have to do a small little recap, if you will, to let people know what they may have missed.
Ah,
That's probably the perfect way to put it. It's more of a recap
a
than anything.
weekly recap.
It's like what? Yeah, it's like what has come out this week from us.
Got it.
So, speaking of which, while I was editing it, I noticed that I got to see the inside of Dan's house for the first time, and
Yes.
you have this like tri-level thing going on.
Yeah,
That is the
it's
coolest.
there's like it's technically a 2-story house, but it's got, if I include the basement, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels.
Whoa, crap! So
Yeah,
you just keep going.
They're
up.
each separate. They're each separated by like a half flight of stairs, and then there's like a small landing.
Ah,
Oh,
I've got
Yeah.
2 bedrooms and a kitchen.
not as impressive, Tip. I'm sorry. Not as impressive.
It really
at all.
isn't. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a weird design. I've never seen it before, but it's all right. It just makes it's like less stairs to worry about with the kids.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool though, because like when I saw it, it reminded me of what like I always wanted a house to look like when I was a kid, where there was just multiple levels of things where you could go. So you could be in the basement, or you could be like in the living room, but the 2 rooms aren't like side by side. They're one's underground, one's on top, and just has the different elements to it. I like that.
Yeah, it's weird, but I don't know. It's all right, I guess.
Yeah. You know, when I was, well, I shouldn't say when I was a kid, because still to this day, I have these dreams where I'll be in a house and the house isn't like, it's like the house that I grew up in, but it's not the house that I grew up in. There's like extra rooms and hallways, and the house always seems bigger. Like, hey, these are extra rooms that I never really knew that were here before. And even though they were kind of creepy in a way, because I would like walk into a room and there'd be like a pool table like covered with cobwebs, and be like, whoa, it's like this brand new place inside of a home. And that's kind of what got me all excited when I saw your house, because like it looks like there's almost like a maze going on in there. You have to like search through it.
Now the thing with Patrick's house
It's-
is his parents' house does have like hidden rooms and stuff.
Tip, please. Let's not discuss the hidden rooms.
And at one point, we're all hanging out at his house, and I woke up one morning, not one morning, I guess it was in the morning, with Patrick holding a pellet gun to my face, reciting the prayer from Boondock Saints. So I think
Tip,
a lot
please.
of these dreams he has are really just a form of psychosis.
Could be.
Thanks,
Could be.
childhood best friend. That's very thoughtful of you. No,
Yeah?
but
Yeah.
I think I've always just liked the idea that there's undiscovered treasure. Like I've always been a treasure hunter, and I love going to thrift shops and like Goodwill stores and all that stuff, just to look for, you know, what somebody may have thought was trash, but is in fact.
If I had a
know, amazing.
soundboard right now, I would turn on that thrift shop song by Macklemore.
And we would
Or
probably
not.
get sued.
Not if you only.
No, I think we're allowed to have like
Yeah.
7 seconds.
No, I guess that works. Do you?
I'm pretty sure that.
Can you imagine
I
the
could be
heart
wrong on
attack
that,
we would
but-
send Shua and Amber into if we played a copyrighted song?
Oh my god, it'd be a frenzy.
We'd be murdered the next day. Okay, that's the last time we
Actually-
let Grandpa do anything creative on the podcast.
I think it would be 50-50. They would be like half upset that it's copywritten material, and half upset that we actually, or not upset, but like surprised that we actually played, you know, current music.
I think thrift shop isn't current.
We're hip with it. We're
Well,
down with the
it's
the
more
new
current
stuff.
than. Yeah, it's more current than most things I listen
Yeah.
to. Like just before I jumped on here, I was I finally had some time to sit down, you know, since the job and everything. So I sat down, picked up the guitar, and I was trying to play Tears in Heaven, and I forgot how to play it.
Ah.
And so I looked up the tab and I was playing along, and I had GroupMe open. We were chatting away, and then Amber popped up and she said something, and I asked her, "Would you know my name?" And I sent that. She's like, what? I was like, if I saw you in heaven. She's like, dude, you're married. like, and I, so it's like, what are you talking about? Those are the lyrics from Tears in Heaven. And now if there's any younger viewers out there that don't know the song, it's by Eric Clapton, who's an older guy. He wrote it in late 91, early 92, somewhere around there, after his son unfortunately died after falling out of a 53rd story building in his New York apartment.
You know the craziest stories.
Well, you know what?
And well, I mean, that was kind of a big one, and I've followed Clapton for years because, you know, as a guitar player, I was like, man, this guy's really good. I got to learn how to play like him. But it was just, and I was like, how do you not know that that's Tears in Heaven? She's like, I've never heard it before.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
How have you never heard that? That's what I said. How have you never heard that before? No.
Like, I've heard the song, and I know the song. I didn't know it was written after his son fell 53 stories to his untimely death.
Yeah. The song's about his son. Although, if you watch the official video, it looks more like it's like a couple.
Yeah.
So I guess there's some sort of confusion there, but like, so that kind of bothers me when I watch the video because I'm like, it's about his son who died.
Yeah.
Like that's, but I mean, it's his video. He's in it, so I guess he approved it.
You know, okay. Speaking of which, Dan, I have a question for you because you're the only other one here with a kid. Well, the only other one here that knows if they have a kid.
I'm pretty sure I don't.
Okay. Ever since we had our kid, my wife, April, she always reads these articles about the most horrible things that have ever happened to kids. Because I guess she's trying to like prepare herself to what you're not supposed to do, how, you know, what situations to keep them out of and all this. But and I appreciate her, you know, being so, you know, dedicated and making sure that we're childproofing the house and all this. But as a result, she reads every horrible story possible of anything that's ever happened to a kid. Like she goes, we can't give him grapes. I'm like, well, why can't we give him grapes? Well, we can't give him grapes till he's older. Well, I didn't think we were going to give him grapes. He doesn't even have all his teeth yet. Yeah, because there was this one baby and they gave him a grape and he just started choking and they couldn't get the grape out. And I'm like, why are you telling me this? I'm not going to give him a grape. I already said I'm not going to give him a grape, but now you're giving me nightmares.
I got two questions about that.
Yes.
One, did your kid have any teeth?
Yes. He's got two little bottom teeth and he's getting a few of his top teeth.
Okay. And two, if you were to give him a grape, would you not cut it?
Yes, I would. But
then there's nothing to worry. See, I made the mistake of giving my son a whole grape, and he almost choked on it.
Oh, shoot.
But he shoved the whole thing in his mouth and then went, and it came up. And it came out.
Yeah.
And I guess there's a third question.
My question for it is...
do you guys not know CPR?
Well, we do, but if the airway is blocked by the thing in his throat, even doing that little baby Heimlich maneuver stuff, the thing is they were executing the Heimlich maneuver, right? So they couldn't get the grape out.
The problem with that, and this is going to sound absolutely horrible, I've never had to perform the Heimlich or CPR on a child, but when they teach you about it, is when you're doing these procedures on kids, you're afraid to like break their bones.
Yeah.
Well, it's possible.
You're going to do it. I mean, if you're going to save the kid, you're going to break their bones. But people are afraid of hurting the kid even more. So they aren't
well, that's
properly...
where you almost have to negotiate do I want my kid to live or do I want him to have a broken rib? You know what I mean? So
that's the thing, right? And actually, if you know anything about children's bones, and I only know this because my nephew, my oldest nephew, when he was 2 or 3, he rolled out of his bed and he broke his arm. Now, when a kid breaks their arm, it doesn't actually break. It's more like, have you ever taken a wet branch of a tree and tried to break it in half?
No.
No?
Oh, where it just kind of like
Pat, you have.
bendy.
Yeah, like it just kind of splinters off a little bit. It doesn't actually snap. Like you can bend it right in half and it doesn't break.
Are you trying?
That's basically what young kids' bones are like.
I don't.
They won't actually snap.
Oh.
Now I don't know if that's true for ribs, but in the arm at least, it'll It'll do
Yeah.
like that. It won't actually break like a dried branch.
Well, I mean, it makes sense that they're still in the development of it, so they're not quite
Yeah.
sturdy and brittle like us old people. But well, my point is this: there's so many things that have happened to these kids, and then now you're telling me about the kid who fell off a 53-story building, and I'm like, I don't need that nightmare now, too.
Because Pat's
Well, just don't live on the 53rd
Pat, you're not
floor.
going to have that problem in El Paso. Wells Fargo's building's biggest building in the city. I think it's only like 13 stories.
No, we only have to worry about West Nile and
Now-
sniper fire from over the border.
Now, when you were talking about giving kids grapes, I thought it was like the same reason you can't give dogs grapes because they'll get kidney failure. And I was like, oh man, my sister's going to kill me because, I would sit there and share grapes with my niece all the time when I'm there. And I thought, oh no, Pat's going to tell me it gives kids kidney failure now. And
I found with my kids, the biggest thing was just like, if you're going to give them grapes, just peel them.
See, now this is getting worse because now I'm worried about kidney failure. Damn.
No. It's nothing like that. They're fine. They can eat it.
Dogs
It's just no. Babies can. Just peel them and cut them up into small pieces, and then you're fine.
Now, if you want to give a baby kidney failure, just a quick jab in the back.
Where is this coming from? I don't want to talk about this no more. This is not okay. Okay.
You've now made Pat uncomfortable.
What? Okay,
Good
no,
job.
I'm taking this conversation and I'm steering it in a different direction. Back to
Well, that's good because I got nothing prepared. I had a week off, and I'm
It's okay.
I'm just happy that I was able to be here and I'm awake. So I got nothing.
You know what, Dan? You just discovered the Jackass Express recipe right there.
Now,
Speaking of names that should not have trademark infringing elements to them.
I have a question for you, Dan. What did you think
Okay.
of last week's episode?
I only got like 10 minutes in.
So you heard the very beginning when I said I was in charge, right?
I did. Loved
Awesome.
Worst
Thought that was
mistake of our
brilliant.
lives. Worst possible mistake. Because we thought, you know what, we want to do something silly. We want to do something fun. Let's throw Tip in charge. He's going to make this exciting. And, well, it was exciting, but terrifying at the same time.
Yeah, I've spent the last couple days trying to catch up on everything that I haven't watched. Like just yesterday, I watched last week's Rooster Teeth podcast. So I still have the one that was up yesterday to watch. And I have to get through ours from last week too.
And that's
I'm having such a hard time keeping up with all of it because now I'm starting to actually like Off Topic. Like,
Oh, I know.
I love Off Topic now, and I can't. But Off Topic always runs 2 hours, so it's like I got to find time for all this.
Yeah, off topic is a bit more of a commitment. Although, I mean, the Rooster Teeth podcast is an hour and a half,
what's
so
off topic. Don't tell me.
it's the
Google it.
it's the Achievement Hunter podcast.
Were you going
So
to
it's
try
still
to
a
guess
Rooster
it?
Teeth production, but
I was gonna see what Google brought me.
You know what? That's actually a very interesting thing that you brought that up because I remember back when we were trying to rename the podcast from what it was before. And then we were thinking about different names, and almost every cool original name that we came up with was already taken. And then you get something like Off Topic that shows up, and that you think, wow, that's brilliant. Someone had to have taken that. And I know there's other podcasts that do have the name Off Topic, but how do they get it so that they don't get in trouble with that? Is it because it's called
That's a good
the
question.
Achievement Hunter Off Topic podcast? Because
I think it has more to do with people that do podcasts are inherently lazy when it comes to the law.
thanks, Tip.
I'm not meaning I'm not meaning it as an insult. I'm saying like Dan puts a lot of work into it. Pat puts a lot of work into it. I show up. One of the three of us, probably the one who sits around all day and does nothing, and it's gonna rename the folders at his work computer to his home computer so they sync up. Maybe he should look into some of these trademarks or something like that. But no one's actually doing that because when it comes to legal matters, podcasting is people doing their thing. So it's more of a live and let live, lazy style.
Yeah.
I believe the fancy way of saying it is laissez-faire, but really it's just
Ooh.
lazy, leaving it as is.
Live and let live, almost.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
So
Well, I get that, but
Yeah.
the problem is, I think in what trademarks were originally supposed to be, instead of trademarking Fine Bros videos reacting and all that, is if let's say that you build something really popular and really amazing, and then someone comes along and has a name that's similar to you. Well, yeah, there's a divided in audience and confusion that can be detrimental to your brand, because now things that viewers or listeners or whatever who should have been going to you are now being torn between these two different things. But then what's worse is that, let's say, okay, well, here's another podcast called Why Did Did For, right? And they say,
Those bastards.
right? And then don't get any ideas. And then they come out and they say, hey, we love Nazis. We think that's the greatest thing ever. We want to, start a fan club for them. Well, then
damn
that
it,
becomes...
Pat.
that
Now
becomes-
everything with Why Did Ask For, they're just going to point to Pat saying we love Nazis.
But Tip, we appreciate context, don't we? So context, people. But yes, it'll be a funny soundbite. But that's the problem, is that you could take something like that out of context, and then you have somebody else with similar to your brand saying that, and because of the confusion, they're going to assume, oh, I don't remember which one it was, but one of them said that, so now I don't want to listen to either. So that's where a trademark's supposed to come into play, and that's where it's supposed to be important. But now it's like people just want to, I don't know, they want to, like Sony, that whole thing with the Let's Play thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to trademark the name Let's Play, and that's been around for forever. And I think the web domain's owned by Dr. Pepper, Coca-Cola, whatever. And everybody uses that online. Even we do. We use Let's Play Ghostbusters, Let's Play whatever.
Again, it goes back to Kleenex. You can trademark whatever you want, but getting people to pay for whatever, like me.
It's a very sound argument. I
was going somewhere and I got distracted. You're gonna watch this video and you're gonna be like, "What's he looking at?" Because I went down a rabbit hole looking at memes.
That'll happen.
But
See, that's why you got to stay off Google while you're
it
recording.
is. But
or as the kids call them, the Dink memes. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to go into a whole legal discussion. But I mean, obviously, that's the biggest thing with. Don't laugh at me.
None of us should ever say dank memes ever.
Okay, everybody, look at Patrick's screen here. Look at Patrick's screen right here. Listen, listeners, if you're listening to this, just listen very carefully. Okay. Dang.
The following public service announcement brought to you by Why Did Ask For.
It's okay to say dank memes.
And the problem with all of this...
No, it's okay for them to say it. It's not okay for us to say it.
I know. I wanted an intimate moment with our audience, Dan, please.
That's why I have to Google
I see.
everything, is because I'm so far out of the loop. You guys say something, and I was like, what? What's a dank meme? What's this?
We're bombarded with these sayings because of these kids we hang out with all day long.
Yeah.
It's true.
Chua,
It's true.
Amber getting all sorts of awards from different colleges and making me feel even older. So proud. I don't think we can talk about that, but Amber just had something really amazing happen in her life right now, and if she's watching, congratulations, Fuzz. That's awesome.
Yes.
What?
Please don't leave us.
Absolutely. We've said
What
it
did
a
she
few
do?
times, but
Well, I don't know if
she was accepted into
okay.
something,
yeah.
and we'll leave it at that.
Hogwarts. She's going to be a wizard.
Until we have a chance to ask her if it's okay to
Yeah.
talk about it.
Yeah.
So we might talk about it next week. But yeah, she got an acceptance for something, and it was very, very
Oh,
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, Hogwarts.
But yeah, at the Hogwarts. The owl showed up. Congratulations, you are now a wizard.
You're a wizard.
Doesn't she have to go to
Yes.
like 9.5 or something like that?
Yeah, and we told her to take a camera with her when she tries to run through the wall. But first, she has to sign the release. Then she can run into the wall, and then we should be okay.
I didn't have to sign a release.
Then you ran into a wall?
You just made me run into a wall.
Don't run into a wall. This is a public... Listen, audience, another moment with Patrick here. Don't run into walls. And you can say dank memes. Let's go on.
Now, I have a question.
This is so horrible.
Does
Go
anyone...
on.
Do any of you guys ever, like, mix the severity of your curse words?
I'm intrigued.
Explain.
Like, today I was at work and I dropped my coffee, which happens quite a bit.
Mhm.
And my reaction was, gosh darn C word.
Okay. Okay.
Gosh darn. And then
Okay.
I said the C word.
And were you very like proud of yourself and amazed? I created a new
Well, like, I was there.
combination of swears.
I was there and I did it. And then it dawned on me. It's like, why the fuck did I say gosh darn? And that was what, like,
You're old.
got me, was that I used, like, the most easy to use, like, anyone can say swear words, and put it with one of the most horrible ones that I would never say in front of anybody. And it just kind of flowed out. And I was just wondering if anybody else does that, finds it funny.
I think it does happen.
I mean, it's kind of funny, but it's never happened to me.
It's never happened to you. I've mixed swear
No.
words, but very quietly and in private. You know.
Look, if I'm going to curse, I'm going to take it seriously. Okay? Here's another little message for you kids. If you're going to curse, do it right.
There's no wrong way to curse.
Is dank a curse word?
No.
No?
Dink?
Dink?
No.
No, not dink. Okay. Well, because
Dink,
I read a
is
study
some
one
sort
time, and
of
I'll
homoerotic term.
oh my gosh.
See, I always think of the and this is going to sound bad, the midget wrestler.
Again,
Here we go.
homoeroticism.
I say sound bad because, you
Further
know, midgets
down
isn't
the rabbit
proper
hole we
term.
go.
It's little people, but Dink and Doink. You don't remember Dink and Doink?
Who?
You don't remember that?
WWE.
You guys never watched wrestling?
Okay,
Don't-
back when we were kids,
So it was
they were the
it
clown
was back
wrestlers
in the early 90s.
for the WWF.
Yeah. Yes.
Doink.
Please, I want to hear more about Dink and Doink.
See,
Yeah,
Technos.
they were wrestlers.
Oh, you do?
Google Dink and Doink. You'll see.
Don't Google Dink and Doink.
They were in and around the time when ICP was in WWF as well. No,
I was
got
never a
it.
big wrestling fan. I was always watching Dino the Dinosaur, and then wrestling came on. And I was like, screw this. I'm gonna do something else. I never got into
all
wrestling.
right then.
Well, I'm not making fun of you guys.
Well,
I love the names.
Wrestling is like the Canadian national sport. I mean,
No, it's not. Lacrosse is.
actually hockey, but
Well, I think
No,
that
it's not.
No.
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 Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you look up the national sport of Canada, it's lacrosse.
Oh,
Well, then, if you
I
had
don't
to
know
say,
where they come up with that, because as far as I know, I mean, there's no nationally televised lacrosse games as far as I know. I mean, curling's more televised than lacrosse.
fun fact: Dink the clown was born Claude Giroux in
Claude Giroux?
and he's from Quebec.
That's he's the captain of the Philadelphia Flyers.
Well, he's also Dink
That's
the
cool.
Clown, Little Hulkster, the Macho Midget, Tiger Jackson, and Tiny Tim.
the macho.
there you go.
That's
Little
He's
Macho.
from Saint Jean sur. That's a way long French name, Quebec, Canada.
That's interesting. I didn't know he was Canadian. Actually, I don't really remember much about them. I just remember that there was two
Yeah.
of them,
That's
and I don't even know if both of them were little people.
no. Doink the Clown is big.
He's
Yeah.
average size, right? So just
Yeah.
Dink.
He
Dink was
he was a
little person.
sidekick.
Can he eat a grape?
yeah, maybe
I mean,
if you peel it and
Yeah.
cut it in half.
does he have the twiggy limbs in the event that you have to do the Heimlich on him?
Twiggy. Oh yes.
Or does he get
Got
does
confused.
he get
I
Mighty
got
Midget
confused
to
by my
come
own
help out?
definition of
So
Get out there.
I'm looking at pictures of Doink the Clown on Wikipedia,
Mhm.
and it's very, very creepy.
He had like green hair, right?
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
very like child molesterish. I can see why they got rid of him.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it was part of a whole big group, like Insane Clown Posse, who is a rap
Yeah.
group or a rap duo, was in the WWF at one point, and they had like a whole big following. Like there was a big group of them. I can't remember what they were called, but it was like a big freak show.
Well, here's
And
some
Dink and Doink
here's
were in
some
it.
sad news about Doink the Clown.
Dead?
Yep. Drug overdose.
That's not a surprise in the wrestling
It
world.
really isn't. But it's a Canadian Texas another can't think of the word pairing, because Matt Osborne, who played Doink the Clown, lived in Plano, Texas when he died.
Well, there you go.
Canada and Texas. 2 peas in a pod.
I can't help but feel bad things happen to people when they come to Texas sometimes. I mean, like, didn't we just have a Supreme Court justice die on a trip and he was in El Paso?
He died.
Wasn't
he
he?
died in Big Bend, which is the Big Bendy part of Texas, if you follow the river.
Uh-huh.
Right.
He died at a ranch there, and the closest airport to him was El Paso. So they took him to El Paso to put him on a plane to fly him to Washington or Virginia, wherever he was.
Wasn't he like a dick?
No, he was Italian.
What does that have to do with it, Tip? That has nothing to do with it. No.
No,
we
I
love
just,
the Italians.
I don't know where I heard it. I heard he was just like not a good dude.
Well, I mean, everyone's always going to have two sides to every story. I never really followed his career personally, but it's just weird that somebody that important died so close to our hometown. So that's kind of crazy.
I still want to know, like, what do you mean by not a good dude?
I don't know, like a douchebag, a fucking bigot, something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was.
Oh.
Just that he was like not a good human being, apparently. Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. Well, I mean, again, you know what it is. I don't care who the person is. After a couple of days after they die, I kind of like, I don't want to get too like mean. I'm sure in a couple of days they'll be ripped apart. But I think, it's a huge freaking deal because his seat is now open, and whoever they fill with it is going to it's going to make a big impact on the election.
No, it's not. It's not going to have
You
any
think so?
effect on the election because the Senate's not going to let it go through.
Oh, okay.
President can nominate whoever he wants. He could call him up and be like, "Hey, I'm nominating Ronald Reagan," and because Obama's doing it, the Republicans are going to be like, "Oh no, you're not." That's just the way it's going to be.
No, but it's going to begin that whole back and forth. Well, why did he pick this person? What's this person's dirty laundry? And it starts all that over again. And
well, yeah, it's.
We talked about.
I remember hearing about Obama after he got elected the first time. That there was like, and I don't know if it's true, but I remember hearing that like he shouldn't be president because he wasn't born in the States. He was born in Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
And then that turned out to not be true at all. And I was like, where the fuck do people come up with this shit?
It's all politics.
Like, is it not a requirement for the U.S. president to be born in the U.S.?
It's a weird thing, and you can be born anywhere in the world, but if your parents are American, even if just one of your parents is an American, then you're a natural born U.S. citizen. And
Okay.
so like Ted Cruz, he was born to a Cuban refugee in Canada, but his mom was an American. So he could technically be a first-generation American born of Cuban descent to be elected president.
Huh.
And that's why Donald Trump keeps saying, I'm going to sue. I'm going to sue. Well,
I can't help but feel like this is not the most exciting thing.
Trump's
we
a
could be talking
fucking
about.
mess.
It's not exciting at all. But it did give me
It's
a
not,
good
but-
segue into this. Plano, Texas is the gymnastics capital of the world.
Okay.
You know what I've noticed about this podcast? We spend most of it either making fun of Canada or praising Texas.
Gee, I wonder why that is.
Well, hey, at least you're not getting Supreme Court justices dying in Texas, so don't.
That's
They
true.
die in
You're one
Canada
up on us
too.
there.
Actually, are they called
Did we-
called Supreme Court justices in Canada, or are they like?
We have a Supreme Court.
Well, I know that.
But I don't know what they're called.
Well, told me to
I don't know why we care what they're called,
because
but
now I have to know.
of course you do.
So
It's important. This is what adults talk about. We talk about politics
it makes me feel good.
and not quite understand them completely, but we discuss them because that's what's important.
Supreme.
It's good.
We read 3 lines and remember those 3 lines and interject them into a conversation at some
Yes.
point.
Yes, otherwise known as a soundbite, I believe. Unlike the one that was spoken earlier, which we've all forgotten about.
Yes.
It's terrible.
I
Anyway, I feel like we should talk about something else. It's kind of.
I guess they're just called judges.
Are you looking it up too? Because I can't find anything.
Wasn't that what a Supreme Court justice is, or just like they vote? Their vote is really high up there in like big legislative
yeah.
decisions.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same. I don't know about legislative, but it's the same process as the states, I would assume.
I think so. They're just the judiciary. They say what's.
they're like the final state of
Yeah.
appeal, right?
Yeah.
So the Supreme Court consists of a Chief Justice of Canada and 8. What the fuck is that? Puisne. How do you pronounce that?
PUI.
SNE. Puisne.
That's where I was going.
Well, I think I figured out
So
why you
whatever-
didn't know what they were called.
They're called Puisne judges.
Puisne. It rolls off the tongue. Please.
Doesn't it?
Yes.
That's
Here, I'll. That's the page I'm looking at. It's the first fucking line. I don't know how to pronounce that. Oh, wait. The word. So it's probably puin. Is derived from an ancient French word which means younger.
ah.
We're learning stuff here today about.
See what happens when you
foreign
read, kids? If you look
politics.
a little further down the page, you'll find what you're looking for.
But that's not in the. That is actually within the first 3 lines.
Yeah, it's the third line. The word.
And now we'll never know what happens after that. Like,
No,
like
I'm not reading
who
any further down
who
that.
swears in the Chief Justice at the Privy Council, or what the Privy Council is.
Tip of this Wikipedia
Oh.
page again. Very nice.
Yeah, he doesn't even. Whatever. Anyway, not
No.
important.
Hey, you did I ever tell you guys?
I mean, we got like
Oh, go ahead.
15 minutes left here, roughly, give or take. Let's go to something a little bit more exciting. Anything?
Did I ever tell
at
you
all.
guys the Batman theory I read about on Reddit?
No. What is it?
No.
Okay, I may have said this before, so just in case, I'm gonna go this slowly. There's a theory that okay, now bear with me here. That in the future, the Justice League, Batman, and Superman, they all fight all these people, and they wind up in space, and they're fighting some. You know, they always wind up in space. I don't care which superhero it is. And
Of course.
the last big guy had something to do with time, Chronos, or whatever. I'm not sure if that's it. So please don't kill me, people who know this better than I do. But the theory is Batman was the only one to outsmart him and save the universe from destruction. Well, at that moment, after he saved the universe, Batman was given a gift. And he said, okay, I'm going to send you back in time.
Oh, I think I know
And so
where you're
you
going
can
with
save
this.
your parents. Now, Tip, don't interrupt. Anyway, here we go. So, because I know him, I know Tip, he's going to ruin it halfway through. And so Batman goes back in time, and he's dressed as a normal person. He's got a coat on, And he says, okay, I can now go save my parents. So he goes to the alley where he was, and he waits for the gunman to show up. But the gunman never shows up, but he sees his parents coming through. And finally, it hits him that...
He's the gunman.
Well, this is why, though. Because if Batman's parents never died, then he would never have become Batman. And Batman never would have saved the universe. So he reaches into his pocket, and sure enough, there's the gun that killed his parents. So he learns that he's the one that has to. So in order to not traumatize his little self, he makes it look like it was a mugging, and he kills the parents. Well, here's where it gets crazy. This is a theory on Reddit, and I'll link it if I can find it. He's so depressed about what had just happened, learning this information. He goes to what the Gotham equivalent of the Hudson is, since it's kind of based off of New York. But he goes there, and he's decided, well, you know what? I'm going to kill myself now because I can't live in this world knowing this thing. And he's so frustrated about it. So he throws himself into the Hudson, but he doesn't die. Instead, he washes up on shore where these two people rescue him, and he has amnesia.
It's the Finger River.
But then they take him to the hospital, and when he wakes up, he has this uncontrollable laughter as if he knows the answer to a joke that he can't remember. And then he becomes the Joker.
I mean, I guess in the realm of comic books,
It's
possible.
vaguely remember having this conversation when we were talking about Gotham.
Yeah.
My problem is I don't remember if it was on Why Did Ask For or Jackass Express.
I'm pretty sure it was Why Did Ask For.
So am I, because I can't remember last time we recorded Jackass Express.
It's on a restructuring hiatus, tip please.
Yeah, but I have heard that theory, and I mean it's interesting. But I like the idea that the Joker doesn't have a backstory.
Maybe that's why.
What was that?
Maybe that's why the Joker doesn't have a backstory.
Well, no. I just like the idea that he doesn't have one. Like, he hints at things, but he's gone so crazy with everything that he just doesn't know what's real and what's fake. So, yeah. I mean, you just don't know if the Joker, what his backstory is, where he came from or anything. Because there's that other one where he was like an accountant or something, and he was originally the Red Hood. And then that one somehow gets blown out of the water. And then this one will probably somehow get blown out of the water. But it's still that whole, who's the Joker? One of those things, what makes him perfect is we don't know who he is.
Well, it's just a fun theory. I mean, there's no basis on it, and it was a fan theory.
There are no fan theories about Batman, Patrick.
No?
No,
I can't help but feel that some of those theories probably shaped how the publishers of Batman developed a story. You know, I always wondered, because especially like people who watch like Red vs. Blue, or even John CJG when he did R Being the Chief, and he's still doing it now. But every time they posted a video, everybody would have these theories about what was going to happen in the show, and they read those comments. So it's like, did they ever have to change the original like direction of the story because somebody figured it out too quickly?
I think it was different in the time that Batman started, because he didn't have social media, telephones weren't as prevalent, didn't even have TV.
No, but they had fan mail, they had letters to the editor, stuff like that.
Well, yeah, but you could be done with like your entire month's worth or however years worth of issues before one gets released. So once the story's out there, I mean, story's out there.
Well, I mean, I don't know, but I've always wondered that if, for our listeners, if any of you are writers out there, would you change your original story because somebody was figuring out your plot points before you got to them? And then does that mean that the story's too cliche? Does that mean...
I think I could answer that.
Go on.
I'm not a writer. Well, I guess I am. I like to write, but it's not from a personal thing.
Dear Penthouse Forum.
The writer of A Song of Ice and Fire,
Yes.
George R.R.
Yes.
Martin, has publicly stated that people have figured out the ending of the book,
Wow.
and it will not affect how he writes the book, and he will end it that way. But he never confirmed what was right.
Yeah.
He just said, yeah, because people tell him all the time, you know, I think this is how things are going to work out. And he confirmed it. He's like, yeah, people got it right, and that's the way it's going to end.
Well, yeah, but until he confirms it, it's
But
still
I-
just a theory, right?
My theory on
But I'm saying
how it's going to end.
Well, yeah, okay, but he hasn't said, okay, yes, this is the plot point that they had right.
Yeah.
And that's how it's going to end. But he did say, yeah, people have figured it out, and he's still planning on ending
Well,
it. that
because
way.
Well,
I
good for
mean,
him.
there's
So, like,
no
even a guy like him isn't going to
there's
change
no other way
the ultimate
to
outcome of his story.
end that story. I mean, the theory, if it's the theory I'm sticking with, it's so perfect that you can't just change it halfway.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll get into what theory that might be, because I think I know what you're talking about. But the reason he said that he wouldn't change it is because he's from book one, he's laid clues in the story that all hint towards the
Yeah.
ending. And to change his ending would, you know, it would contradict everything that he's already put into his previous
Yeah.
works. So he's like, yeah, people have figured it out, but I mean, I can't change it now, and I wouldn't change it anyway. But he's like, I can't change it, especially because I put in hints in all the other books as to how things are going to turn out.
It'd be
Wow.
like with us. Star Wars just came out. Now everyone has all these theories about who's Rey's parents.
There are no theories about Star Wars, Tip.
Well, okay. They're all legends now. But everyone has their ideas about who Rey's parents are. And I think it's pretty safe to assume that Rey's parents are either Luke and the Jurassic Park lady, who, hint, hint, just got called in for episode 8,
Mhm.
or she's an offshoot of Han and Leia, and they're going to explain that away somehow. And they aren't just going to go and completely change everything because we figured out that Rey is a Skywalker. I mean,
Right.
all of episode
Right.
7 kind of set that up. And for them to go, hey, yeah, we're going to change it now because we wanted to surprise everybody. That's just kind of a shitty way of storytelling.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, it really is.
it's really clear that she has to be a Skywalker, but under what circumstances? No.
I really don't care what circumstances now. I think how they decide to tell the story is how they decide to tell the story. And
Well, good. That's
with,
basically the point I was making, is that because I personally believe that a person should not change their story based off of fan reaction, but I think there are some writers that do that, and then they lose the whole meaning of their story.
Yeah, and it's like a musician. A song, to me, should be able to stand on its own, whether it's highly produced and auto-tuned and, you know, made all poppy, or just that same song, same lyrics, stripped down to a guy singing with an acoustic guitar. Where he should that song should speak for itself. It shouldn't be the production of the song or the anticipation of the song. It should be, the story should speak for itself.
Well, that's the difference between like having a producer and a musician. A producer is out there in the music world to try to make money, so they'll take a Britney Spears and they'll write her an amazing song, and she just sings the song they make her. Or you'll get a real good musician, and they'll just make something amazing, and people will love it.
Exactly. Like, I somehow came across on my Spotify a acoustic version of Wrecking Ball
Oh boy.
that was originally sung by Miley Cyrus. And I can't remember who did the cover of it, but the song is a beautiful song. It's just the guy playing his guitar, singing the song. And I mean, this cover is amazing. Miley Cyrus gets a hold of it, and I want to shoot myself.
Is the guy
Yeah,
on
that's fair.
YouTube by any chance?
Probably.
Because I know there's this one guy
mean-
called Only One Noah who does like acoustic
Yeah, and
covers of these real popular songs.
It's not him. He's done other songs that I thought were really amazing.
Yeah.
Like he did "Sexy" and "I Know It," and gave it this Jimi Hendrix feel, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, Dan, you would like this guy.
Yeah.
It's he actually. I think he wound up on Glee for some reason.
And he's put out some cover albums. And I mean, all he's doing is playing with the guitar and singing. And the song, I felt, was written in such a way that it stood on its own. The lyrics spoke to whatever situation.
Well, I mean that's a good cover, and that's what it's supposed to do, right? It can potentially turn crap into gold. Like there's this band called I Prevail, relatively new. They covered a Taylor Swift song, and I heard their version first, and I was like singing along. Well, this is a good tune. And then after a while, I was like walking around the house singing it, and my wife looked at me and she's like, "Why are you singing Taylor Swift?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Was it Shake It Off, Dan?
No, it's a blank space.
That's cool.
But I mean, they do like they're a heavy band, and they do an awesome cover of that tune. I mean, hers isn't that bad, but I'm more of a heavy metal guy.
Yeah. No,
So I mean, I just preferred it, but I was like, man, like her version's the original. It's a decent enough song, but they did an amazing job, and it's similar enough that people will know that that's that Taylor
Jonas
Swift song.
Cell, that's the name of the guy that does the Wrecking Ball cover.
Cool. Very cool.
So anyway, there was that. Now going back to Game of Thrones, the theory. What were you gonna go for? What were you gonna say that
the
theory was?
I've heard, that I've read, and that I think just fits it all together, is that it wasn't Ned Stark that had the affair. It was his sister that slept with a Targaryen.
So this is the R plus L equals J theory, in which Ned Stark is way too honorable to have had an affair, and Jon Snow is actually the son of a Targaryen who his sister was married to, I believe.
No, because she ended up marrying.
Well, she married Robert Baratheon in the end, but I thought she was married to the Targaryen. Anyway, so the theory is that Ned's sister is Jon's mother, and his father would be a Targaryen, which would make him the actual heir to the Targaryen throne. And apparently, I'm looking at an article here, it may actually be true, confirmed online.
Well,
I mean, that's my theory as well. Like, it's a good theory, and it seems to fit
and
well.
part of that theory
And
also
so-
has what's his name? Little dude, I can't think of his name.
Little dude?
Tyrion Lannister is also Targaryen. Where the three dragons, then Daenerys, Tyrion, and Jon Snow are all somehow
Negative.
Whoa.
They might include Tyrion if they're only looking at the show to fit the three dragons, but in the book there is an existing Targaryen that's being hidden. He's a young boy, and his name is I think it's Griff.
With two F's?
I think so. I think that's the name. But so in the show they don't actually show it, but when Tyrion goes across the narrow sea over to Pentos and all that, he's actually on a ship with that kid. Who, if you're following along with the books, it comes out that he is a Targaryen, or he's claiming to be a Targaryen, and he's going to meet. No, he's not going to meet. He's going to the Westeros to take back his thing. And then Tyrion finds out and goes, well, you should really, I'm going to help you try and get to your sister so you can marry her. Or I guess it's not a sister, but family member. Because, Targaryens marry Targaryens. Yeah, so in the book, there is a Targaryen that they completely leave out of the show. But if you're looking at the show, they might include Tyrion as that, but...
See, I'm going to have to go back and finish the books, because I read the first 2, and then I got so caught up in the show where I was just rewatching it, and then I thought, I'll just finish the books when I'm done with the show.
See, I was smart. I went and got mine on Audible, which is not a sponsor, but it's a great product, and if they would like to sponsor us,
I'm a big fan of
give me
Audible.
a call. But yeah, I got all 5 books on Audible, so I just listened to them, and yeah, when that came out, I was like, "Oh shit, there's another Targaryen!" And then I read the theory that Jon Snow was also a Targaryen. I was like, "This will be awesome!"
And I really think that Jon Snow is a Targaryen. Everyone says, "Oh, Jon Snow's dead." No,
no, he's not dead. No, there's no way. I mean, I don't know. In the books, leaves it a little bit more vague, but I mean, in the show, the Red Woman's there, and we all know what the people who worship that faith are capable of.
And also, just look at when they go and they get the eggs out of the fire from the funeral fire.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna put Jon Snow in one of those funeral fires. Well, then, guess what? He's gonna walk out and be like, "Hey."
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So.
Huh. I never thought of that.
So he could possibly be dead. So HBO gets away with he's dead, but not really.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I mean, I guess it would have to be, he's dead, so let's burn the body because they're at the wall. And then they're worried about White Walkers and all that. We don't want him to turn, so let's burn him. And then as he's in the fire, the Red Woman just mumbles her words and he comes back to life. And because he's a Targaryen, he doesn't get burned.
Yep. And
that's fucking genius. So anyway, look forward to season 6 starting up April 24th, I believe was the day they gave it.
Yes.
So that's pretty exciting.
So you're saying the writer won't have to call an audible?
No, but he will have to sit his ass down and finish the fucking book. Get your shit together, Martin.
And keep a defibrillator by you at all times.
Make me fucking drive down to New Jersey and bitch slap you.
I don't know, a guy with an imagination like that, I don't think you want to piss him off.
I've read he has 2 houses, one that he lives in and one that he just stores collectibles in.
Really?
Oh, that's totally something I would do.
And I just thought, that'd be nice to have that kind of money.
Yeah.
Well, did you...
just to buy a house to fill with shit.
My wife was telling me that supposedly he told the producers how the show's supposed to end in the event that he dies before.
Yeah. Well, he said that. I mean, I think it's in the Comic-Con panels that he's done. Like, he said out in the public, like, I've given them plot points.
Mm-hmm.
These are the marks I want you to hit or that you need to hit or something. Like, they had to agree to it or something like that before they went ahead with the show. It was like, this is how, these plot points you have to hit in the show in the event that I don't finish the books or you surpass me or I die or whatever.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, I mean, they're free to take liberties here and there, which they have done on a couple things. Like, it's not Sansa that marries fucking douchebag in the north there. In the book, it's Jane Poole, which was Sansa's like handmaiden / best friend or whatever. But for the sake of the show, it works.
Very cool.
So, yeah. Anyway, looking forward to that. One other thing which is important to our content.
Yes.
It's been announced. There's some Fallout 4 DLC coming out.
Ooh.
So, a couple of them are kind of stupid. Like, there's what is it? Automatron DLC for $9.99. It's just a bunch of like evil robots and shit that roam the Commonwealth. So you can hunt them down, harvest their parts, build and mod your own custom robot companions. So you can choose, mix limbs and armor and abilities and all that kind of stuff, which I guess, I don't know, if you're into that sort of stuff, it's kind of cool. But for me, not interested. And then there's the Wasteland Workshop for $4.99. So you can design and set cages to capture live creatures, from raiders to deathclaws. And you can tame them or have them face off in battle.
Like Pokemon.
Which, it's sort of like Pokemon, which I guess
Gotta catch them all.
that might be fun to dick around with, but I'm not too sure about that. The one I'm excited about though is it's called Far Harbor. So this is the actual like story-based DLC, which adds like a whole new section because it's a new case from Valentine's Detective Agency. So if you guys have played the game, you know who Nick Valentine is. You gotta find a young woman in a secret colony of synths, which this thing takes place in Maine.
Oh.
Which is where our lovely Mr. Drew is from.
Drew, they gave away your location. They're coming for you. Run.
So it includes things like
into the ocean.
More synths, the Children of Adam, which if you've done the Virgil quest, you know who the Children of Adam are, or there's a good chance that you ran into them. Yeah, I don't know. That one's the biggest one. It's $24.99. But it's like a whole other map because you have to go to Maine, basically, from Boston. So that's pretty cool. I'm excited about that. So you can look forward to me recording stuff in that for sure.
Nice.
I will take you through the whole DLC, and I'll actually use the character that I want to use instead of the character that I'm using now, just to get the ending that I want.
Yeah, that kind of pisses me off about games with multiple endings. I mean, I like it, but at the same time, it's kind of like I don't really like this person, but I want to see this ending.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's not even about the ending for me. It's because I'm an achievement whore. Yeah. And there's achievements tied with each ending.
No, I completely agree.
And I didn't look at the achievements before I started the game, so I didn't realize that. And I killed off the railroad well before the rest of the story split for me. So that was the only one that I didn't have a save point for.
No, I understand. And it's
the thing is, little PSA. If you get the season pass, it's $29.99 before March 1st. You will still get all the $60 worth of DLC for the $29.99 for the season pass.
Ooh.
If you pick it up after that, they are upping the price of the season pass to $49.99.
That's still a hell of a deal.
So if you're a Fallout fan and you want to make sure you get the DLC, and you don't have the season pass, get it now before March 1st.
And if you're just a fan of savings, get it now.
Well, that's true.
I don't like Fallout. I don't even like video games, but that's a bargain. After I buy myself a white Xbox,
but that's a hell of a deal.
I'm going right now. Man, this bag corporation of Canada is really saving me some money.
The Bag Corporation of Canada accepts all donations.
Mm-hmm. That was good.
That was really good.
So, I mean, I think that's it.
I think that's it too, gentlemen. I think this was a very good...
something else, but I forgot. I mentioned last week that we were going to do questions. If people have any questions in the comment section, we were going to answer them. We didn't get any. So that's disappointing.
Oh, no, wait. We do have one question. One question here. Yes. I see. Okay, look.
As Patrick scribbles it down.
Yeah.
Okay. It says, Patrick, you are my hero. Yes, I know. And I look forward to one day being able to be as successful as you are. I'll set the bar a little bit higher.
Either you can't read, you're making that up.
No, it's absolutely all true. It's right there. No, it's all right there. No. Well, this is what you do, kid. You want to be like White had asked for? It's very simple. Stop trying. Do that. Just fine.
There you go.
Just wake up on time and show up and you're good to go. That's basically the formula. So
that's true. That's
go
pretty
get
much
your participation trophy. Your life participation trophy.
And take it to a homeless person and say you tried.
Yeah.
At least you tried. Yes. That's right.
All right, I think that's good.
So I guess that's the message of the day. At least you tried.
Absolutely.
So I want to thank everybody for joining us. And remember, if you want us to answer your questions or if you have any questions for us, leave them on the comments of this video and we will put them up. We will try and answer them next video.
We'll answer them. They may not be the answers you want.
True. We will provide answers to questions. Whether or not they match up, it's 50-50. So So thanks everybody for joining us, and hopefully we made you ask, why did ask for?
Yes.
Why did end?